Hi, this is PJ Cook, and today I'm going to show you how to paint a palm tree. As you can see here, I've already laid in a little quick background with sky and a few clouds, and I've done a warm cat orange wash behind the palm tree and put in a little bit of water, and I'm just going to go ahead and just start doing the palm fronds. I have several colors out here on my palette. Quin gold, any yellow. I like to mix most of my greens. Sometimes I will use some tube greens. Always, put a little red in with any of the greens that you're mixing so it kind of neutralizes the greens. I got a little burnt sienna here. I'm using a 1-inch flat. Fairly loaded brush with water and paint, so I can continue working and adding colors for several minutes. Using a little Indian red here as I'm coming down where the coconuts are. So my paint's still wet here, so I can, add a few darker colors. And then one of my techniques is to scrape away some of the color. I'm using a little pocket knife. So I'm demonstrating here how I'm doing the palm fronds, and I can actually make some fronds with this technique. Alright, so I'm just bringing some of these coconuts, the coconut palms here, adding a little color there, and then I'm going to go back to my 1-inch flat. Mix a little dark here for the start of my trunk. like to leave little breaks. You can kind of do the same technique if you want with the knife. You could wait for it to dry a little bit, but you can just drag out a couple of the lines that you typically see on the palms. From there, I would wet a little bit of this background, just a little bit of water here and there, so we get a little blending down into our green foliage that's down at the base here. For these green, I use this large round, number 12, and I just kind of do things like that for these leaves. Like I say, when you're working with green, always add a little red, because it kind of neutralizes the green and makes it a little more natural looking. As I'm moving down towards the sand, I'm going to kind of warm up the color so I have a little more of my yellow. Now, I kind of like to do this kind of foliage with my flat brush, so I'm going to switch over to that. A little bit darker colors in here, let it kind of blend. You can keep some behind the trunk, maybe put a few in the front of the trunk. I've got a post here. I could pull out a few highlights on that post with a clean, dry brush. And I can kind of do the same thing with, I've got a 1-inch, more of a rigger or a liner brush, number 6, fairly thick for a liner. And you can kind of, do some of these spiky things that you always see on the palms. Same thing with a few stalks. And then if you want, you can pull out a few highlights again. If you let the, it depends on how wet it is as to what kind of action you're going to get with that. It takes a little practice. You gotta, certainly the Arches paper is tough and can handle this. Some papers, you can't do it because it'll rip the finish.